You're watching KALB TV 5, Alexandria. Mitchell Lewis, news. Scott Bishop with sports. And John DeLatorre, your weatherman. This is Newstentral 5 at 10.
Good evening. Iran today ended 3 days of naval exercises in the North Persian Gulf, where U.S. forces yesterday thwarted an attack by Iranian speedboats. And also in the Gulf, a shipping agent is demanding payment from Iraq for destroying an Australian shrimp boat. Jim Miklashevsky reports.
Tensions in the Gulf rose this weekend as the U.S. and Iran edged closer to a confrontation. One U.S. warship was apparently prepared to open fire on an Iranian ship that had locked its weapons radar on the U.S. vessel. The Iranians turned off the radar after a stern warning. At the same time, the commander of the U.S. forces, Admiral Harold Burnson, ordered several warships to the waters off Farsi Island. They were in position to intercept an armada of heavily armed Iranian speedboats racing toward a Saudi oil platform.
We had some indications that there was a considerable amount of Iranian naval activity in the northern portions of the Gulf. So, very simply, we wanted to find out what it was. So we turned around.
Meanwhile, Iranian gunboats attacked several tankers this week. And an Iraqi jet hit this Australian shrimp boat with an Exocet missile, killing the captain. 14 tons of shrimp are left to rot in the Gulf heat. The ship's agent is convinced the Iraqi pilot intentionally attacked the unarmed boat.
I suppose I give that idiot a medal that hit him, and his superior officer, as far as I'm concerned, they both should be up for murder.
The shipping company wants an apology and compensation from Iraq, and assurances it won't happen again. But there's no sign for now that the Gulf violence is easing. Jim Miklashevsky, NBC News in the Gulf.
China today is accusing 2 American tourists of involvement in Thursday's bloody pro-independence rioting in Lhasa, the capital of Tibet. The People's Daily did not name the 2, but the State Department reported that American tourist John Ackerley of Cambridge, Massachusetts, and Dr. Blake Kerr of East Hampton, New York, are in custody of Chinese authorities. And tonight in the Tibetan capital, Army trucks with sirens blaring and police with bayonet-fixed rifles patrolled the streets to enforce a 10 p.m. curfew. Chinese television today ran pictures of the riots, which the government termed a serious political incident. 6 people were killed and 19 policemen injured, eyewitnesses say, by stones and bricks hurled by demonstrators. Pro-independence demonstrations like this one have occurred sporadically since China took over the country in 1959. And back in this country, U.S. and Canadian officials announced a major trade agreement which would eliminate most major barriers to free trade between the 2 nations. Trade Secretary James Baker was joined by the Canadian Finance Minister in Washington in making the announcement.
Yesterday, the President. This agreement provides the foundation for a new North American economic relationship on which future generations will build. The world's largest trading partners, with about $135 billion of commerce in 1986, are creating the world's largest free market.
A powerful aftershock to last week's deadly earthquake rocked Southern California today, causing at least 1 fatal heart attack. That story when the weekend edition continues. A powerful aftershock to last week's deadly earthquake jolted Southern California today, causing at least 1 fatal heart attack, injuring about 80 people and damaging already weakened homes and historic buildings. We have this report.
California's latest wake-up call came at 2 minutes till 4 in the morning. It knocked bricks from buildings near downtown L.A., scared homeowners in East Los Angeles into city parks to spend the rest of the night, brought others to Red Cross shelters, which quickly filled. Buildings already damaged by the quake last week finally gave in to nature. This historic old playhouse in the San Gabriel Valley lost one of its bell towers. In Whittier, buildings moved even further off their foundations. Ceilings and parts of walls collapsed. This latest and strongest aftershock from last week's quake measured 5.5 on the Richter scale.
Oh, it jolted us out of bed. Some glasses fell over and broke, so there was that sound. The building rattled. There was the pots clanging against each other. It was real noisy.
There were power outages, but they were fixed quickly, and only 1 death, a heart attack. Scientists say aftershocks are normal, though not often this big, this long after the initial quake. And they have no way of knowing if there will be any more.
A chemical fire erupted in Santa Fe Springs, California this morning. Officials say the fire was confined to chemical drums outside a storage building. The drums were filled with an unidentified solvent. The building belongs to the Baker Oil Tool Company, which was not damaged during the fire. Authorities are investigating the possibility that the fire was caused by this morning's aftershock. And a surprise snowstorm blanketed areas of the Northeast today, dumping up to 20 inches of snow on parts of New York State and causing at least 4 deaths. A state of emergency was declared for 2 counties in upstate New York, where traffic accidents killed 3 motorists. The snowstorm uprooted trees, closed roads, and downed power lines. Some 150,000 people were without electricity. The storm was part of a wave of record cold weather in the east, which extended as far south as Florida, which reported a low of 49 in Jacksonville. U.S. Senator John Breaux is in Alexandria tonight to endorse the incumbent state senator, Joe McPherson. That story when we come back. Defense attorneys for former Shreveport businessman Herman Beebe and 2 associates have moved for a mistrial in the 3-week fraud trial. U.S. District Judge Tom Stagg took the matter under advisement today in Lafayette. Defense attorneys registered their objections based on publicity surrounding U.S. Assistant Attorney Joe Cage's resignation from the case. Meanwhile, jurors today continued their deliberations for the 2nd day until 6 p.m. Beebe, Stanton Brown of Benjamin, Texas, and David Bussell of Shreveport are all charged in an alleged $30 million fraud scheme involving banks and businesses in Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, and Colorado. U.S. Senator John Breaux endorsed State Senate incumbent Joe McPherson at a barbecue tonight at the Parish Coliseum Exhibition Hall. Breaux said McPherson has done a good job for Rapides Parish in Baton Rouge over the past 4 years.
The tough, difficult times that we have ahead of us. And in difficult times, it's important that you send the very best. It's important when times are tough that you have someone who knows how to get the job done. Someone who doesn't have to go to the Senate and learn the ropes. Someone who's already been there. And Joe McPherson is a person who has been there. He served with distinction this particular part of the state and is recognized throughout the state.
I think it will send a message that we do want to retain that strong, effective voice that I've tried to be in Baton Rouge. That we understand the problems of Louisiana and we understand the needs of central Louisiana. The thing that I commit to you tonight is to always be a part of the solution, to never be a part of the problem. It's an easy thing to distinguish and understand and identify and verbalize the problem. The hard job is finding that solution. That's what I've tried to be a part of. That's what I commit to you for the next 4 years.
Opening arguments are scheduled tomorrow in the malfeasance trial of a former child protection caseworker. She is accused of not acting properly in the case of an abused child who died last Thursday. Attorneys completed the selection of 6 jurors and 1 alternate juror to hear the case against Cynthia Porche. If convicted, she could face at least 5 years in prison. The charges stem from the March 1985 death of 3-year-old Joshua Nagy, who was killed by a blow by his mother's boyfriend. Porche is charged with not taking proper action to protect the youngster. Buddy Roemer, an underdog in the race for governor, picked up 3 major newspaper endorsements today. That brings his total to at least 5 of the state's biggest newspapers. The Shreveport Times, the Monroe News Star World, and the Alexandria Town Talk added their support to that of the New Orleans Times-Picayune and the Shreveport Journal. The new endorsements all describe the Bossier City Democrat as the best choice among the 4 candidates challenging Governor Edwin Edwards on October 24th. They all had harsh words for Edwards. It was Christmas in October this weekend at the Rapides Parish Coliseum. Gary Baker explains in this report.
The first ever Yuletide market was held this weekend at the Rapides Parish Coliseum, and show director Judy Rozier says lots of shoppers attended to beat the December rush.
That is the whole idea. Come do your Christmas shopping early, and then you can have it behind you when Christmas comes.
Don't have to fight the mall traffic either.
That's right, that's right. The whole idea is to have a lot of fun with this, and features several various specialty shops. And all the shops that we have here are specialty shops. They're segmenting different aspects of their stores and promoting, the specialty items, and that's what we were looking for.
Stores from Louisiana, New Mexico, and Pennsylvania participated in this year's market. Numerous items were for sale at the two-day show, including Christmas decorations and exotic foods to benefit the Alexandria Country Day School.
We have a tea room that we're featuring various assortment of foods in the tea room, ranging from sandwiches to gourmet desserts. There's wonderful food out here. We've had a lot of fun with that. And we also have some gourmet food booths here that will be featuring various items for their booths. We are very excited. The turnout has been wonderful. Of course, you can hear the entertainment in the back, and we've had lots of fun with that. It's just been wonderful. We've been very excited about it.
Rozier says the first show was a success and could become an annual event. Gary Baker, Newstentral 5.
And now here's this week's Crime Stoppers as reported by Vicki Bernard.
On the afternoon of August 15th, 3 men were hitchhiking outside this home on Highway 1, about 4 to 5 miles south of Alexandria, and police believe they may have burglarized the home.
At the time of the burglar, prior to the burglar, the lady left the residence and saw 3 men out here hitchhiking in front of her home. At the time she left, they were dark-complected individuals, sunburned, she called them.
The total value of the stolen items is $2,500.
The people that burglarized this home went into the garage through the window there and did quite a bit of damage there. Stole quite a bit of silver and gold, mostly old jewelry, but pretty good stuff. And took the remote control to the TV in a all-weather coat and left.
If you have any information on this burglary, call Crime Stoppers. Remember, the most important thing, when you call, you never have to give your name, and you could collect a reward up to $1,000. The number to call, 443-7867. That's 443-STOP.
Bob Lanier is up next with 60-Second House Call.